Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that Earth has somehow doubled its speed. Not around the sun, around itself. And the terrifying part? At first, you might not even notice. Right now, Earth is spinning at nearly 1,600 kilometers per hour at the equator. Every second, you're racing through space without feeling a thing. But what if that speed suddenly became 3,200 kilometers per hour? It sounds impossible, yet the consequences would begin immediately. The first effect would seem almost like a superpower. You'd weigh less. Seriously. As Earth spins faster, centrifugal force pushes outward harder, slightly fighting against gravity. At the equator, everyone would become lighter overnight. Sounds great, right? But here's the strange part. That tiny weight loss would be the only good news. A faster spinning Earth means a much shorter day. Instead of 24 hours, a full day would last only 12. Sunrise, sunset, gone before you know it. Suddenly, everything humans built around time starts breaking apart. Schools, jobs, transportation, sleep. Would you still need 8 hours of rest? Could your body adapt? Or would millions struggle to function in a world where daylight disappears twice as fast? And that's when things get weird. A year would still take the same amount of time to orbit the sun. But because days are shorter, we'd now experience around 730 days every year instead of 365. New calendars, new schedules, an entirely new way of living. But changing clocks is easy. Changing biology? That's a completely different story. And what happens next makes the time problem look insignificant. Think about every signal you use every day. Television, GPS, phone calls, internet connections. Most of it depends on satellites carefully synchronized with Earth's rotation. Now imagine Earth suddenly speeding up. Those satellites wouldn't simply adjust. Many would drift out of position, creating massive communication failures across the planet. But that's not even the craziest part. Humans might adapt eventually. Nature might not. Countless animals depend on predictable cycles of light and darkness. Nocturnal hunters rely on nighttime. Migratory species follow seasonal patterns. Cut every day in half, and entire ecosystems are thrown into chaos. Some species would struggle. Others might disappear completely. And while life is fighting to adapt, another invisible force begins growing stronger. The Coriolis effect. You may never have heard of it, but it helps shape every major weather system on Earth. It's what causes hurricanes to spin. It's what influences global wind patterns. And this is where it gets weird. The faster Earth rotates, the stronger this effect becomes. Storms would spin faster. Winds would curve more aggressively. Hurricanes would carry even greater amounts of energy. Disasters that already devastate coastlines could become far more destructive. Imagine storms forming more violently than anything we've recorded in modern history. Entire regions constantly threatened. Entire populations forced to relocate. But even that isn't the biggest danger. Because while people focus on the skies, the oceans are quietly preparing to rewrite the map of the world. And once that starts, there's no going back. What if the greatest threat wasn't the storms, but the water itself? At 3,200 kilometers per hour, Earth's increased rotation would create a dramatic redistribution of the oceans. The faster spin would pull enormous amounts of water toward the equator. Not a few centimeters, not a few meters. Entire oceans would slowly shift. And that's when everything changes. Countries near the equator could face catastrophic flooding. Coastal cities would vanish beneath rising waters. Entire populations would be forced inland. Maps you've known your entire life would become obsolete. But here's the terrifying twist. As gravity weakens slightly near the equator, more moisture would remain suspended in the atmosphere. The result? A permanent belt of dense clouds. Relentless rain. Endless humidity. A massive ring of storms wrapping around Earth's middle like a planetary scar. The regions closest to the equator could become worlds of constant fog and rainfall. Meanwhile, other areas would experience radically different climates. Civilizations would be pushed to adapt or abandon entire regions. And suddenly, that shorter day no longer seems like the real problem. Because this was never just a story about time. It was a story about balance. Earth's rotation isn't random. It's one of the invisible forces holding our world together. Change it slightly, and life becomes harder. Double it, and the planet begins transforming into something almost unrecognizable. So the next time a day feels too long, remember this. Our entire civilization depends on that perfect 24-hour rhythm. But here's the question nobody can truly answer. If Earth had always spun twice as fast, would humanity have evolved to survive it? Or would we never have existed at all?